In 1973, the world saw Secretariat win the Triple Crown in record-shattering glory. But behind him, in every frame, every finish, every explosion of hooves, ran another champion. His name was Sham. And his story is not about being beaten. It's about running so hard, he broke history. He was tall, dark, powerful, crafted for war on the track. They called him a monster of muscle and heart. But fate had a twist. Sham was born to run, but destined to chase the fastest horse who ever lived. Still, he never stopped. Not for pain, not for loss, not even for legend. This is the full story of Sham, the stallion who could have been a Triple Crown king in any other year. This isn't a story of second place. It's a story of unmatched courage, unmatched speed, and unmatched heart. Because sometimes, greatness isn't found at the finish line. It's found in the fight. Sham was born in April 1970, bred in Kentucky by Claiborne Farm. His sire, Preakness, was known for stamina, while his dam, Sequoia, added resilience to the bloodline. From birth, Sham was different. He stood taller than most colts, with long legs that promised ground-devouring strides. His coat was deep bay, nearly black, and his eyes burned with fire. Even before his first race, stable hands whispered, "This one's not just good. He's built to fly." Sold to Sigmund Summer, a wealthy New York businessman, Sham was placed under the command of Frank Pancho Martin, a Cuban-born trainer with an intense, no-nonsense style. By the age of 2, Sham was training like a freight train. Every gallop was a warning. Every breeze told the barns that a storm was building. Sham debuted late in his 2-year-old season, winning his maiden race at Aqueduct. His performances weren't just victories, they were statements. Dominant, aggressive, unapologetic. But it was the Santa Anita Derby in early 1973 that lit the fire. Sham exploded down the stretch, clocking a time that turned heads nationwide. Analysts now had one question. Could this colt challenge Secretariat? Most thought not. But Pancho Martin? He believed. Fiercely, loudly, publicly. He told anyone who would listen, Secretariat is good, Sham is better. The rivalry was on, and the world was watching. May 5, 1973. The Kentucky Derby. The crowd roared. Eyes were on the chestnut titan, Secretariat. But alongside him, Sham stood tall, ears alert, body coiled like a spring. The gates flew open. Sham stumbled slightly, but recovered fast. He surged forward, staying close to Secretariat throughout. As they reached the home stretch, it was Sham who made the first move. He challenged hard, head-to-head. For a moment, just a moment, it looked like Sham might win. But then Secretariat found another gear. Sham didn't falter. He flew. They crossed the line. Secretariat set a new track record, 1:59.25. Sham? He clocked 1:59.45, the second fastest Kentucky Derby time ever. He lost by 2.5 lengths, and still made history. 2 weeks later, the Preakness Stakes, a shorter track, a tighter turn. Sham's team believed this was his moment. The race began. Sham broke strong. He wasn't trailing. He was challenging. But again, Secretariat made his move from the back, sweeping around horses like they were standing still. Sham tried to respond. For a moment, he did. But Secretariat surged. Sham crossed second once again. Another defeat. but still the only horse brave enough to go stride for stride with the big red machine. Then came the Belmont Stakes, the final leg, a grueling 1.5 miles where stamina reigns. Secretariat's trainer, Lucien Lauren, expected a strong pace from Sham, and Pancho Martin had one last plan: push Secretariat early, burn him out. The gates flew open. Sham and Secretariat bolted together, shoulder to shoulder, blowing past the field. For the first 6 furlongs, it was a 2-horse race. But something shattered. Pushed beyond limits, Sham's heart cracked, not metaphorically. His cannon bone fractured mid-race. His stride faltered. He faded. He finished 5th. Secretariat? He kept going. He didn't just win. He demolished the field by 31 lengths. A world record. The greatest race in American history. And Sham? He had run with him until it broke him. After Belmont, veterinarians confirmed Sham's injury. His racing days were over. A cannon bone fracture ended what could have been a legendary campaign. He retired with a record of 5 wins in 13 starts, but that number lied, because in 3 of those defeats, he finished behind Secretariat. Sham wasn't a failure. He was a victim of timing. He was a king without a crown. Any other year, any other rival, he might have worn the garland of roses, the blanket of black-eyed Susans, the white carnation of Belmont. Sham was sent to stud, first in Kentucky, then California. There was hope that his bloodline would carry his fire into the future, but his offspring never matched his flame. A few won minor races, but none emerged as stars. Breeders began to look elsewhere. His name faded from sales catalogs. It wasn't for lack of genetics, it was timing. The racing world had moved on. But Pancho Martin never did. Secretariat was great. But don't forget Sham. He was great too. In the rolling hills of Spendthrift Farm, Sham lived out his final days in peace. Visitors would come to see Secretariat's old rival, and he welcomed them with soft eyes and a slow walk. He was older, slower, gentler, but his eyes still gleamed when hooves thundered past. He knew who he was. Not a footnote. A fighter. In 1993, at the age of 23, Sham died of natural causes. He was buried quietly, far from the roar of Churchill Downs. But for those who remembered, his legend never died. Sham is too often remembered as the horse who lost to Secretariat. But that's not his story. Sham ran a faster derby than every horse in history except one. He went toe-to-toe with the greatest. He never gave up, never backed down, never let history forget him. He was the only one brave enough to fight the fire, and he almost outran it. He was a storm. He was heart. He was everything a champion should be, even without the trophy. In recent years, horse racing fans and historians have begun re-examining Sham's career. In films, books, and documentaries, he is no longer just the rival. He is the shadow warrior, the thunder behind the lightning, the colt who stared down the fastest horse of all time and didn't blink. He has inspired the Sham Stakes, an annual race for 3-year-olds in California, a race that honors a horse who was never just second best. A new generation of colts now chase a title named after the horse, who chased greatness and found it just behind the finish line. Some champions are crowned with roses, others are crowned with respect. Sham never wore the garland, but he wore something else, the awe of those who knew how hard he fought. He was born for greatness. He ran like thunder. he faced the impossible and still chased it to the edge of history. And for that, he'll always be more than second. He'll be Sham. If this story moved you, if you felt the thundering hooves, the heartbreak, the fire, then don't let Sham be forgotten. Subscribe for more true stories of legends who ran with heart. Like, if you believe second place doesn't mean second best. Comment below. Would Sham have been a Triple Crown winner in any other year? We want to hear your take. Share this video with someone who loves the underdog, because Sham wasn't just a runner-up. He was a warrior, and warriors deserve to be remembered.